We are in the home of the NHL's Oilers, Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, live in front of a sold-out Rogers Place. 1 week from Sunday, we make the trip to Toronto for the 2025 Elimination Chamber. And as we found out earlier this week, the landscape of that night has completely changed. John Cena pinning Drew McIntyre's shoulders to the mat last Thursday night on SmackDown, and he has been added to the World Heavyweight Championship affairs at the Elimination Chamber. It is a triple threat matchup: McIntyre, Cena, and Gunther. But that is then, and tonight, here on SmackDown, the franchise is set for one-on-one battle against Ludwig Kaiser of Imperium. I am sure Kaiser is coming into this matchup with strict marching orders from the ring general, Gunther. Oh, wait a minute, hold on here. Oh, wait a minute, we need some cameras inside of the building. Something's going on at the top of the aisleway. That's the Celtic Warrior Sheamus and the Royal Rumble match winner, Ilya Dragunov. And it looks as if Sheamus must have ambushed Ilya backstage and has brought this fight out to the middle of Rogers Place. Obviously, the history between these two gentlemen runs deep. Sheamus running side by side with Drew McIntyre for months here on SmackDown. Dragunov has been a thorn in both of them. Bro kick to Dragunov. An ambush by the Celtic Warrior Sheamus, leaving Dragunov laying at the top of the aisleway. Well, Sheamus gonna make his way to the ring because kicking things off in moments, he is set for a one-on-one battle against the Apex Predator Randy Orton. It's an Elimination Chamber qualifying match right here on SmackDown. Well, Sheamus getting his hands dirty, ambushing Ilya Dragunov. But now he runs in to the cold-hearted Apex Predator.
And his opponent from St. Louis, Missouri, weighing in at 275 pounds, the fighter, Randy Orton.
Well, Elimination Chamber, certainly the topic of discussion here tonight in Edmonton. Still to come on the women's side of the affair. Shayna Baszler set to go one-on-one with Zoey Stark, her tag team partner, in Elimination Chamber qualifying match. Who will join the likes of Charlotte Flair, Liv Morgan, Io Sky, and Lyra Valkyria? We find out later tonight here on SmackDown. But right here, right now, the Apex Predator Randy Orton and the Celtic Warrior Sheamus look to join the likes of Austin Theory, LA Knight, Finn Balor, and CM Punk. 1 week from Sunday, an Elimination Chamber matchup. Of course, an opportunity to challenge for the undisputed WWE Championship at WrestleMania hangs in the balance. Randy Orton, who has been dealing with issues with Austin Theory, I'm sure would love to kill two birds with one stone, getting Theory locked inside Satan's prison, all the while trying to obtain an opportunity at the championship he once held at WrestleMania 2 years ago. Well, the Celtic Warrior Sheamus already warmed up after that ambush on Ilya Dragunov at the top of the aisleway, but Randy Orton now stands in the Celtic Warrior, line of fire as we get set to kick things off here in Rogers Place. You'll notice Randy Orton back to 100% here tonight. No kinesio tape over the shoulder. Last time we saw Orton here on SmackDown 2 weeks ago was looking taped up and was looking roughed up after an ambush backstage by one Austin Theory. Orton's been head-hunting that young man ever since he was taken out by Austin Theory on Halloween night. Orton, of course, resurfacing back at the first SmackDown of 2025. Developing issues there, just as there is between Sheamus and Ilya Dragunov, but those are two separate situations to the one at hand. as these two veterans and familiar foes of the squared circle meet right here in Edmonton, Alberta tonight with an opportunity to head to Toronto a week from Sunday on the line. What a night's going to be here on SmackDown. As we mentioned, Shayna Baszler, Zoey Stark, former women's tag team champions, friends, partners. They go one-on-one in an Elimination Chamber matchup themselves. In a high-stakes main event, John Cena looking to keep his momentum at its peak as he heads towards the World Championship matchup in Elimination Chamber, set to go one-on-one with Imperium's Ludwig Kaiser. Right now, Randy Orton just trying to shake off the cobwebs of some recent losses here on SmackDown. Just 2 weeks ago, both of these men coming up short in that #1 contenders four-way matchup. Neither of them challenging for the World Heavyweight Championship against Drew McIntyre. And of course, Randy Orton eliminated from the Royal Rumble matchup as well. Orton, who has had some major opportunities in the past year to obtain the Heavyweight Championship here on SmackDown, would look to finally take the next step at getting back to the main event inside the Elimination Chamber. Sheamus not going to make it easy for him. Celtic Warrior, who has fought alongside Drew McIntyre, his longtime friend and even sometimes foe, for months here on SmackDown, credits the World Heavyweight Champion and helping getting his edge back, so to speak. Sheamus, I'm sure, would love for WrestleMania to go off the air come March 8th and 9th. As McIntyre holding the World Heavyweight Championship and Sheamus holding the WWE Championship could be a pipe dream for those two international superstars. Off the top rope, shoulder block taking Orton off his feet. Tell you what, Sheamus is looking sharp in your opening bout here tonight on SmackDown. Elimination Chamber qualifying matchup. You gotta believe with the stakes so high, neither one of these men looking to leave any stone unturned on a hopeful road to success. Randy Orton just trying to get the ball rolling here, as there's been majority Sheamus since the opening bell. May have something to do with Sheamus already having his body fired up after that assault on Ilya Dragunov, the Royal Rumble match winner that we saw moments ago. Randy Orton, of course, as we mentioned, with those ever-looming issues with Austin Theory, but cannot be focused on those tonight. I am sure he is wanting to get back at Theory. For that ambush back on Halloween night months ago, and what about the ambush just 2 weeks ago in the backstage area here on SmackDown? But Orton knows his time will come. Randy Orton sent a message to Theory weeks ago saying he is going to strike when Theory least expects it. Orton, at this stage in his career, absolutely full of patience that he does not believe Theory has. Randy Orton going to let it boil over and strike when he so pleases. And it could be inside the Elimination Chamber if their paths are due to cross. Off the top rope, or I should say off the middle rope, Randy Orton dropping the hammer on Sheamus. Goes to show you that Orton's bringing his A game tonight. A rare occurrence leaving the soles of his boots, but Randy Orton oh so desperate to get back to the promised land. Up and over he goes on Sheamus, trying to go for the schoolboy here. Sheamus a little close for the ropes. Randy Orton, unfortunately, slithering like a snake into that pinfall, but not able to get the 3 count he so desired. Sheamus hoisted up top, certainly not where he wants to be against a locked and laser-focused Orton. Randy looking to meet him up there, going for a superplex, a maneuver made famous by his own father, Cowboy Bob. Into the cover he goes as Edmonton comes unglued in the middle of Rogers Place. Kicked off our tour of the North this past Monday Night on Raw, and it's going to roll us all the way in to Toronto a week from Sunday at the Elimination Chamber. Who's going to be making the trip to Scotiabank Arena? Will it be Sheamus? Will it be Orton? Off the triple backbreakers, it's looking like the Great White is about to cross the finish line. And another kick out that time by Orton. Randy Orton survives another moment in your opening bout tonight here on SmackDown. Orton sent back inside the ring, looked to be getting a little R&R, create a little distance on the outside, but Sheamus not having none of it. Realizes that Orton is a weakened snake at the current moment, and he may just need to cut the head off to get this matchup done. Orton trying to dodge, dip and dodge, and fight for his life. Once again, off the shoulders of Sheamus, is able to knock down the Celtic Warrior for a moment. Sending Sheamus into the ropes. Vintage vintage Luthez press. Classic out of the arsenal of the Viper. Just 2 years ago, Randy Orton walked into WrestleMania, the main event at that, as the WWE Champion. This year, he's looking to get back to WrestleMania in the main event and challenge either AJ Styles or Braun Breaker for said WWE title. Speaking of vintage, on the ropes, DDT by Orton. Sheamus looking at the lights of Rogers Place. And that could be all she wrote. And it's not just yet. Sheamus able to survive one of Orton's best maneuvers. Just goes to show you how tough these two individuals are and how much they want to see their name as one of the 6 inside the Elimination Chamber a week from Sunday. Oh, and a bicycle knee. Could have been going for the bro kick that time. I don't think he had enough distance to lock. Decided to go for the knee instead, and clearly it paid him dividends. Might not have got the 3 count, but was able to take Orton off his feet. Both these men throwing some of their best maneuvers throughout this contest thus far, but who is going to have that oh so important final blow? Sheamus crawled to the corner. We said a few moments ago it was Orton who needed to create a little R&R and a little distance. Now it seems as if Sheamus was trying to do the same, and Orton's not going to allow it. And Orton, locked, loaded, Viper coiled, and strikes with an RKO! Orton on his way to the Elimination Chamber. Well, Sheamus might have started out this night on a proverbial high, ambushing Ilya Dragunov in the backstage area and then bringing his body out here to Rogers Place. But what goes around comes around. Randy Orton looking better than ever and joins the ranks of the Elimination Chamber.
Here is your winner, the Viper, Randy Orton.
A decorated future Hall of Famer has another opportunity at the highest glory in this industry, and that's obtaining the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. 5 of the 6 slots inside the Elimination Chamber matchup have been determined. Damian Priest meets Seth Rollins this coming Monday on Raw for one final spot in the Elimination Chamber. Wait a minute, Austin Theory in the ring. Oh, we talked about those issues between Theory and Orton. Theory looking to get at Orton before Orton strikes at him. A-Town down on the Viper. Austin Theory has no interest in fighting a war with Randy Orton. Wants to put this Viper behind him and move on to the main event of WrestleMania. We're back live at a sold-out Rogers Place from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. The LWO's Zelina Vega set for action, but it is certainly not going to be an easy task if Vega wants to see victory here on SmackDown. Lined up for competition against a returning Nia Jax. Nia Jax returning to the WWE in the number 30 position just a few weeks ago in the Royal Rumble matchup. And 2 weeks back on SmackDown, ambushing the Women's World Champion Raquel Rodriguez. Now Nia returns to action, a part of the SmackDown brand, a former women's champion in her own right. And first on her hit list is somebody that hits close to home for Raquel herself, and that is one of her best friends here on SmackDown in Zelina Vega. Well, Vega, I'm sure, wants to do one good by the women's world champion, the woman who Nia Jax squashed inside of that ring just a few weeks ago. Nia trying to do the same to Vega. Zelina gonna do her damnedest not to allow it. This is Nia's first singles matchup here on SmackDown since her return at the Royal Rumble. She may be looking at Zelina Vega as ripe for pickings. And so far, it's looking like a mismatch. Nia Jax with all the size and strength in her corner. Vega, as you saw, was able to knock Jax down momentarily off the drop kick. Zelina gonna try to have to find a way to rely on her speed and agility in this matchup to get the job done. Certainly easier said than done when you were in there with a bona fide dominator like Nia Jax, who once again just collapses the body of the LWO's First Lady. Zelina Vega has fought side by side with Raquel several times here on SmackDown. They were on the winning side of War Games back in November. Vega, I'm sure, saw with her own eyes what happened to Raquel just a few weeks ago on SmackDown, laid out by that woman, Nia Jax. Hoping to get back at Nia tonight, showing her that she's not going to show up to SmackDown and be a bully and get what she wants, but that may just be a fever dream for Zelina Vega. A head scissors takedown, able to knock Nia down momentarily. Certainly a maneuver that can use Nia's own momentum against her. Vega's smart to go for the high risk, high reward, but as you can see, in a matter of moments, Nia gonna turn the tables. Last thing Nia Jax wants is a rally by Zelina Vega, and this is about the last thing that I'm sure Vega was hoping for upon taking the trip to Edmonton tonight. Couple of backbreakers. And Vega, ever resilient, able to survive. I'm sure the women's world champion Raquel Rodriguez has got her eyes on this matchup, and I'm sure she's got her mind on the women's Elimination Chamber matchup a week from Sunday as well. A lot of women gunning for that women's world title right now. Raquel with a monstrous target on her back. Nia Jax looking to cut to the front of the line, so to speak. And right now, she's certainly doing her damnedest, making an example out of Vega here on SmackDown. At some point, you gotta think that Vega just doesn't have nothing left, and this is just gonna be a walk in the park for Nia Jax. Or maybe we spoke too soon. Vega, another head scissors. Gets Nia off her feet again. But can she keep her there is the question. Again, Nia Jax just denying a rally by Zelina here on SmackDown. Monstrous headbutt. Oh no. Dragging the carcass to the corner. We saw this to Raquel 2 weeks ago. Nia going for an annihilator on Vega. Might as well count to 20. Thanks for coming, Zelina. Nia Jax is victorious in a return.
Here is your winner, Nia Jax.
I'll tell you, that speaks volumes. Zelina Vega at one point in time was the #1 contender for the women's world title herself. She's one of the best SmackDown has to offer. Nia Jax making her look like light work. And hold on here. Raquel Rodriguez, ever stoic, marching to the ring. Nia realizes it. Raquel getting right in the face of Nia Jax. Raquel not gonna sit idly by and watch Jax push her weight around in just a few weeks here on SmackDown. But Nia Jax may have been ready for the women's world champion. Raquel Rodriguez, ever defiant, getting in the face of somebody who has put a target on her back, but Nia Jax came to Edmonton ready for a battle. Once again, lays out Raquel. Raquel making her way down the aisle, hoping to get a measure of revenge on Nia Jax. But clearly, Nia's adrenaline is flowing, and Nia thought 10 steps ahead, imagining that the women's world champion was going to hope to meet her here in Rogers Place. Raquel with a little bit of height advantage over Nia Jax, but clearly that's showing not to be any bit of dividends as Jax has got her in the corner. History bound to repeat itself when Raquel did not learn from it. Another annihilator. Raquel may be in trouble. Nia's coming for the Women's World Championship. Well, nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, speaking of championship gold, we want to take you back to last Thursday night as Fraxium went 2v2 against Dragon Lee and Santos Escobar, and what inevitably was a retention of the WWE Tag Team titles that they won back at the Royal Rumble. Santos Escobar filling in for Rey Mysterio in that matchup, and as we are about to see, clearly Escobar had months of frustration that boiled over. In the midst of a celebration by Fraxium, Santos Escobar ambushing his tag team partner and LWO brother in Dragon Lee at the top of the aisleway. Certainly an event that took all of us by surprise as he left Dragon Lee laying with this Phantom driver. And then maybe even more shocking than that, moments later in the backstage area, Escobar approaching Andrade just as it was about a month ago here on SmackDown, but this time the handshake between these two old rivals. Well, there is a lot to discuss regarding Santos Escobar's betrayal of the LWO. And coming up next here on SmackDown, we are going to talk all about it. He stands alongside Andrade, one-on-one against the master of the 619, Rey Mysterio. It's up next, live from Edmonton. Can't get enough Universe mode? Well, now is your chance to secure a backstage pass to more Universe than ever before. Become a Noah Nation Gaming channel member and gain entry to exclusive kickoff shows before each and every premium live event. Also, witness bi-monthly house shows that directly affect your episodic viewing of Universe Mode. Also, take a peek behind the curtain and see how Universe Mode is brought to life each and every week. Hit the join button down below, become a Backstage Pass Noah Nation Gaming channel member, and get your front row seat to more Universe than ever before. We're back live on SmackDown. Elite Low, Andrade, accompanied by the Emperor of Lucha Libre, Santos Escobar. Well, Escobar took to Instagram earlier this week to shed some light on last week's situation. Escobar had this to say: last week was months of frustration boiling over. As soon as I went down with injury in September, Rey Mysterio was quick to replace me in the LWO. And last week, Rey showed he only cares about his own career, leaving me to team with Dragon Lee while he tried to qualify for Elimination Chamber. I should have listened to Andrade sooner. The LWO can kiss me goodbye. Little message for Fraxium at the end there. Andrade and Escobar coming together and clearly have their sights set on the WWE Tag Team titles. What doesn't make sense to me is Santos Escobar is quick to point out that when he went down with injury in September, Rey Mysterio replaced him, so to speak, with Dragon Lee. Rey Mysterio, for one, needed a tag team partner as he had earned a WWE Tag Team title opportunity against Los Garza. And Escobar fails to mention that it was Andrade and his cronies and Angel and Berto who are the ones who put him on the shelf in the first place. We saw about a month ago here on SmackDown, Santos Escobar had defeated Andrade in one-on-one action. Andrade, just about a week later, had approached Santos Escobar in the backstage area. Escobar wanted nothing to do with it. But clearly there was a developing story that we had no idea about of Andrade poisoning the mind of Santos, and it's all targeting this man. Everyone seemingly has got a problem with Rey Mysterio.
And his opponent, representing the LWO from San Diego, California, weighing in at 175 pounds, Rey
You know, let us also not forget that at one point in time, Andrade was trying to lure Rey Mysterio away from the LWO. Wanted Mysterio to team up with Andrade in the tag team division here on SmackDown. Rey wanted no part of it. Escobar took it personally and really started a multiple-month rivalry with Andrade in the process. I guess you know what they say, keep your friends close and enemies closer, and if Santos Escobar for one reason or another feels slighted by Rey Mysterio and now looks at him as an enemy, well, does that make Andrade his friend? And two guys with a common goal to stick it to Rey Mysterio and also win the WWE Tag Team titles in the process. Well, I guess that's all that can be written about Santos and Andrade as far as we know, as Mysterio taking out Escobar with a crossbody. Well, if Escobar wants to draw a line in the sand, Rey Mysterio's got no problem jumping over it and taking the fight to both of these individuals. Mysterio clearly ticked off after the events of last week and has taken out that aggression on El Idolo here on SmackDown. Frankensteiner off the ropes, into the cover, in the early going. Edmonton is fired up, just as Rey Mysterio is here on Thursday Night SmackDown. Rey Mysterio certainly wanted to defend his friends, certainly wanted to defend his family in the Latino World Order. If Escobar wants to sever those ties, then consider it done. Rey Mysterio's going to come out here tonight and he's going to fight for Dragon Lee. He's going to fight for Zelina Vega, Cruz del Toro, Joaquin Wilde. Two men right there who are like brothers to Santos Escobar. Escobar wants nothing to do with it. That's all fine with Rey Mysterio. Rey coming out here tonight trying to get his measure of revenge. Certainly courtesy of Dragon Lee, who I assume is still feeling the effects of last week's Phantom Driver at the top of the aisleway. Right now, it's Andrade who has taken over this matchup, and of course the X-Factor and the Emperor of Lucha Libre at ringside. You know, Escobar and Rey Mysterio, that was a partnership that was bled out of a competitive rivalry back in the early part of 2023 over the Cruiserweight Championship. It was this time last year the LWO was formed on SmackDown, and those two men, Escobar and Rey, walked into WrestleMania to compete for the tag team titles. Eventually won the tag team titles last June in Mexico City. To see what it has come to and to see the poison that Andrade has bestowed upon Santos. And quite frankly, the delusion that Santos Escobar has in his mind makes about as much sense to anybody. Nonetheless, Rey Mysterio trying to get back into this matchup, hoping for a victory over Andrade tonight on SmackDown. What a better way to stick it to these two men who are eyeing up an opportunity at the tag team titles. Rey, oh, both men going for springboards there. That could have been worse for wear. Rey went high, Andrade went high. Neither man got the delivery they so desired, and now it's El Idolo looking to take over. Saw that little message for Fraxium at the end of Santos Escobar's social media post. Really, Santos and Andrade are looking to ixnay Rey Mysterio here tonight, looking to put the LWO behind them and looking to focus on Axiom and Nathan Frazier's Tag Team Championship gold. Andrade heading to the top here, dropping an elbow right to the heart of the greatest luchador of all time, no doubt about it. Although I'm sure Andrade and Santos Escobar would be opposed to that. Mysterio running through the competition. And Andrade just catching Rey with a boot. Rey once again trying to leave the soles of his boots. He gets kicked out of the air. Andrade's best case scenario in this case, maybe to slow the match down and take the wind out of the sails of Rey. Andrade, no stranger to revving up the engines and flying through the skies himself, but when you're in there with Rey Mysterio, it is a whole different ballgame, as we've come to know over the years. Oh, but wait a minute. Santos Escobar grabbing at the boot of Rey, just off the counter to Andrade. And El Idolo with a shot to the back. A quick distraction by Santos, and now Andrade is looking to take over once again. Hammerlock DDT off the assistants. Andrade gonna steal the victory with help of his newfound friend in Santos Escobar.
Here is your winner, Andrea.
Well, quite frankly, there's more questions than answers regarding that friendship, that partnership, whatever you want to call it, between Santos and Andrade. But the result is the result, and it paid El Idolo dividends tonight with a victory over Rey Mysterio here on SmackDown. It is every superstar's dream of headlining the biggest event of the year, WrestleMania. And for many, this may be the final chance to capture that dream. On Sunday night, February the 9th, the unforgiving steel, the miles of chain, the structure known as Satan's prison is back. The city of Toronto and the eyes watching around the world will bear witness to one of the most grueling nights on the WWE calendar. If survival is the only option, then these men and women will scratch and claw, hoping to be the final being left standing and one step closer to immortality. Sunday, February 9th, Noah Nation Gaming channel memberships proudly present the Elimination Chamber. We want to take you back to earlier tonight here in Edmonton. Sheamus with the ambush on the Royal Rumble match winner Ilya Dragunov in the backstage area that spilled out to the top of the aisleway, leaving the Mad Dragon laying a scoop and a slam, a bro kick moments later. Sheamus continuing to be a thorn in the side of Ilya, just as Dragunov has been for Sheamus and McIntyre. Sheamus coming up short in the Elimination Chamber qualifying matchup, but he will indeed be making the trip to Toronto. We can confirm that Sheamus and Ilya will meet yet again, and this time the ante has been up. It is a Falls Count Anywhere match. Dragunov has defeated Sheamus. Sheamus has defeated Ilya. This is a rubber match in Toronto, and the fight willing to go anywhere into Scotiabank Arena a week from Sunday. This matchup also signed for the Elimination Chamber kickoff show exclusively for Noah Nation Gaming channel members. Asuka and Kairi Sane looking to regain the women's tag team titles they lost 2 weeks ago against Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez. We found out last Thursday night in an exciting, unpredictable triple threat contest that Trick Williams would be next in line to challenge for the United States Championship. It's the biggest opportunity of Trick's career as he goes one-on-one against main event Jey Uso. Officially signed for Toronto, Nia Jax will challenge Raquel Rodriguez for the Women's World Championship on Sunday night, February the 9th. We saw how dominant Nia was against Zelina and Raquel earlier this evening. Will she be leaving Toronto with the gold? The WWE Championship from Raw is on the line as Braun Breaker defends the title against the former champion, the phenomenal AJ Styles. Which one of these men will carry the gold into WrestleMania? And who will they defend that gold against? 5 men have already been determined. One more spot remains. Theory, Balor, Orton, Knight, Punk. It's the Elimination Chamber matchup with an opportunity to challenge for the WWE title at WrestleMania on the line. And of course, the Women's World Champion will be decided in Toronto, and so will be the #1 contender. Charlotte Flair, Lyra Valkyria, Liv Morgan, and Io Sky have already qualified. Bayley meets Becky Lynch this coming Monday night on Raw for the 6th and final spot, but who will take spot #5? We find out right here, right now, on Thursday Night SmackDown. And you're looking at a woman who knows all about the Women's World Championship, the inaugural champion, the Queen of Spades, Shayna Baszler, who walked in and out of WrestleMania last year with that very gold. Looking to do so again, but standing in her way is a woman she took under her wing just about 12 months ago here on SmackDown. Her friend, her partner, Zoey Stark. This should be a highly competitive battle live from Rogers Place. We've talked about it time and time again. The ever vicious, the ever explosive Zoey Stark has continued to come into her own under the wing of Shayna Baszler. Former women's tag team champions, they won those titles back in August and of course lost them to Asuka and Kairi Sane, 2 women who they were at odds with for months here on SmackDown. But now Zoey Stark and Shayna Baszler. Tonight, they don't stand on the same side of the ring. Tonight, they oppose one another, and I'm sure great respect is still there, and they'll make up after the battle, but only one woman can qualify for the Elimination Chamber matchup a week from Sunday. It's the Scotiabank Arena. This should be a good one here on Thursday Night SmackDown. Already tonight, Randy Orton defeating Sheamus in Elimination Chamber qualifying matchup. Now we jump to the other side of the field as it's Baszler and Stark in the same situation. Shayna Baszler, obviously the veteran here, and has taught Zoey Stark a lot over the last 12 months since she took Zoey under her wing here on SmackDown. As much as Zoey Stark may have been taught everything she knows by Shayna Baszler, I am sure Baszler had not taught Zoey Stark everything she knew. Baszler, I'm sure, has got a trick or two, an ace in the hole up the sleeve that she can surprise Zoey Stark with here tonight. Baszler has had a first-class ticket, a front row seat to the rise of Zoey Stark, her improvement week in and week out, but I am sure she sees some holes in the game that she can expose on a hopeful road to the Elimination Chamber. And so far, this matchup is spelling my sentiments exactly. It has been one-way traffic over the last minute since the opening bell. Shayna Baszler not going to hold any punches, just I'm sure Zoey Stark isn't looking to do so either if she even gets the chance. As we said moments ago, Shayna Baszler, the inaugural Women's World Champion, winning a four-way matchup back at Survivor Series in 2023 to do the honors. Walked into last year's WrestleMania against Raquel Rodriguez, not only as the Women's World Champion, but retained it on that night as well. Last year, Shayna Baszler, along with Zoey Stark, winning the Women's Tag Team Championships. Baszler continuing to prove she is among the best here in WWE, but Zoey Stark is looking for her breakout performance, and it could be inside the Elimination Chamber match. Just has got to get the ball rolling here against the Queen of Spades here on SmackDown. Shayna Baszler looking a little rocked at the given moment as Zoey Stark starts to find a way here at Edmonton. Stark heading to the outside. Baszler better keep her eye on the moving target. Shot out like a missile. The sniper, Zoey Stark, off the drop kick. May have rung Baszler's bell, but not enough for the 3 count. And Zoey Stark, a full house inside of that ring. Loves to take things to the air with high-risk maneuvers. Also a hard-hitting striker. Zoey Stark has got great potential to be a main event star here on SmackDown. Will the Elimination Chamber be her first step in doing so? Step up, dive to Baszler. What a maneuver on the outside. And just like that, this matchup has taken a completely different turn. The sniper drop kick, the step up dive to the outside. Oh, hold on here. She didn't get all of that roundhouse kick that she wanted, and Baszler might have caught her, turning her inside out. Shayna Baszler has had enough and may be looking to bring this matchup to a conclusion. Going for the Karafuda clutch on her tag team partner. Baszler's got it locked in sharp. All the time these two women have spent together has Zoey Stark discovered a way to get out of this submission hold. Maybe a couple of stiff shots to the abdominal or one to the noggin will do just that. Zoey Stark able to survive the Karafuda clutch and now into a German suplex on Basler. Hate to sound like a broken record, but again, these two women not holding any punches with an opportunity to compete in Toronto 1 week from Sunday on the line. And what a matchup this has been thus far between these former women's tag team champions. Zoey Stark once again takes Baszler off her feet. Stark is looking fantastic against the veteran. Dare I say it's Shayna Baszler who needs to find a window of opportunity to get back into this matchup. Into the corner, Stark closes the gap. Knee, bulldog combination. Zoey Stark may be within inches of qualifying for the Women's World Championship Chamber bout. Crossbody. Maybe a good time for a cover, or Zoey Stark may have something left. Another tool in the shed. Takes Baszler's knee out. Stark going for that basement level drop kick. And another near fall in this highly competitive bout, but Shayna Baszler proving why she is a former Women's World Champion. Zoey Stark with that kick right to the temple. Unfortunately, the Queen's Army is still fighting. And Baszler gonna bring this matchup down to size. Bring this matchup just where she wants it. Muscling Zoey Stark down. And nearly put her away with a couple of knockout blows. This is competition at its best, ladies and gentlemen. No personal animosity between these two women. As a matter of fact, the complete opposite. Friends, tag team partners, but tonight only one of them can move on to the Elimination Chamber. What do we talk about Zoey being a sniper? Did not miss off that kick. Baszler doing her best to fight through the punishment. Trying to shake off those cobwebs as Zoey Stark now finds herself eating a couple of right hands right to the abdominal. Baszler again starting to unload and goes after that surgically repaired knee of Zoey. Baszler not going to be afraid to throw a couple of dirty shots if need be. Zoey Stark getting out of that predicament. Could have been a Piper's Pit. Zoey now heading to the top. As we mentioned before, not afraid to leave the soles of her boots. Zoey has got Shayna in prime position. C360. Zoey Stark is on her way to Toronto. And no doubt the biggest victory of Zoey Stark's career in a singles capacity. Former women's tag team champion, yes, but defeating a former women's world champion in her partner Shayna Baszler tonight. Zoey Stark with a huge feather in the cap on her way to the Elimination Chamber 1 week from Sunday.
Here is your winner, Zoey Stark.
Well, whether it's Raquel Rodriguez or Nia Jax, the women's world champion at WrestleMania is certainly looking at competition. 5 of the slots have been determined. Bayley or Becky Lynch will take the final one this Monday night on Raw. The road to the Chamber continues to heat up. We want to take you back to last Thursday night on SmackDown as the World Heavyweight Champion Drew McIntyre alongside Sheamus went 2v2 against the Royal Rumble match winner Ilya Dragunov and the franchise John Cena. As you can see, the attitude adjustment did the damage. McIntyre tried to fight back a few moments later, but Cena catching McIntyre in a precarious spot, pulling the rug out from underneath his feet and catching McIntyre with this slick pinfall, taking down the world champion. That is the victory that earned John Cena a spot in the World Heavyweight Championship matchup in Toronto. It was McIntyre and Gunther. Now it's a triple threat. Cena's on the road to number 17, but McIntyre and Gunther stand in his way. We'll find out who is going to head to WrestleMania 1 week from Sunday as the World Heavyweight Champion. But coming up next, here on SmackDown, Ludwig Kaiser of Imperium looks to wear down John Cena before his trip to Toronto. It's Cena, it's Kaiser, it's up next, live from Rogers Place. The road to WrestleMania is full of unexpected twists and turns. And just mere weeks before the grandest stage of them all, we make a pit stop in the Windy City, Chicago, Illinois, as your Saturday Night Obsession is back. February 22nd, live at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, the superstars of Raw and SmackDown are out to make one final statement before the showcase of the Immortals at Saturday night's main event. Don't miss what promises to be an unpredictable night. Live from Chi-Town on the 22nd of February, your Saturday Night Obsession is back! It is main event time on Thursday Night SmackDown. We are live from the home of the NHL's Edmonton Oilers, the Rogers Place, jam-packed. Just 1 week and change before the Elimination Chamber, but Ludwig Kaiser looking to soften up John Cena ahead of his championship bout.
The following is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring representing Imperium from Hamburg, Germany, weighing in at 220 pounds, Ludwig Kaiser.
I am sure the ring general Gunther made it very clear to Ludwig Kaiser what needs to be done tonight. Victory, of course, but also the punishment of the franchise. Gunther and Cena have had this war between them two, to say the least, ever since Gunther and Cena had returned to SmackDown on the same night back in the season premiere in October. They've yet to go one-on-one, but they continue to cross paths, whether it be six-man tags, the Royal Rumble, Fatal 4-Way, or come Elimination Chamber, a triple threat match. I remember just a few weeks ago, Ludwig Kaiser was one of the examples that John Cena used as a message, if you will, to the ring general, sending Kaiser through the announce table with an attitude adjustment. A night I'm sure that man has not forgotten. Will it be number 17 at Elimination Chamber?
And his opponent from West Newbury, Massachusetts, weighing in at 251 pounds, the greatest of all time, John Cena!
How many more opportunities will there be? Is Toronto the one last chance for John Cena, one of the greatest to ever do it, as he is in search of his 17th World Heavyweight Championship? And wait a minute! Gunther from behind, ambushing Cena at the ringside position. And throwing Cena in there, a weakened man, into the waiting arms of Ludwig Kaiser. A sneak attack by Gunther, Imperium doing all they can to keep Cena out of the equation come Elimination Chamber. I am sure Gunther's been fired up all week. He pinned John Cena in the Fatal 4-Way just a few weeks ago to earn his #1 contendership. And then last week, Cena overcoming the odds, pinning the World Heavyweight Champion, and making an emphatic case that he also deserved a shot at the world title. Gunther's one-on-one opportunity becoming a triple threat match with no other than a man he has been at odds with for months here on SmackDown. John Cena and Gunther's situation continues to develop, both men looking for one common goal, and that's leaving Toronto as the World Heavyweight Champion and marching into WrestleMania, where the Royal Rumble match winner Ilya Dragunov is awaiting whoever's going to be holding the big gold belt. That is all then, but tonight is right here, right now, and Ludwig Kaiser is all over John Cena like a shark that smells blood in the water since that bell sounded. Cena not afraid to break things down into a brawl if need be. Dare I say, one of the best brawlers in WWE history. Ludwig Kaiser wants to get the victory tonight. He needs to wear down and wrestle and exhaust John Cena. Cena going for the early cover could be a sign that he is feeling the wounds of last week. Wounds of combat, if you will. The very physical tag team main event, and of course what we just saw moments ago, the ambush by Gunther, sending him right into those diamond-plated steel steps at ringside. Nonetheless, Cena can be feeling 100%, he could be feeling 50%, he could be feeling 10%. Cena's going to make his way out to the ring any given night and give it his all, especially we are just over a week until he has another opportunity to become a 17-time World Heavyweight Champion. Cena's been on the road to making history for quite some time. Remember, he had one of the best matches of 2024 against Cody Rhodes in the main event of Survivor Series just a few months ago. Coming up short in his attempt to win the World Heavyweight title, but John Cena looking to get that opportunity and make the most of it a week from Sunday in Toronto. Ludwig Kaiser looking to send John Cena to Scotiabank Arena. Maybe in an arm sling, maybe with a taped up abdominal, anything to ensure that John Cena will not be a factor in a Gunther getting back the World Heavyweight Championship. I'll tell you what, no matter which way you spin it, it's not going to be an easy task for any man in that triple threat matchup. Drew McIntyre has shown his most vicious, most dominant side over the last few months. It is what led him to becoming the World Heavyweight Champion just a few weeks ago at the Royal Rumble, injuring Cody Rhodes in the process. And you got Gunther, one of the most impressive, one of the most dominating champions in SmackDown history. Man who defeated Drew McIntyre to win that gold back in 2023. And you got John Cena, one of the best to ever do it, and somebody who is very familiar with not only holding the gold, but main eventing WrestleMania. I'm sure there's a great respect between Cena and Ilya Dragunov. We saw it on full display last week. We called it. The face and the future standing side by side. John Cena, I'm sure, would love to go one-on-one with Ilya for the first time ever in that ring. The only time their paths have crossed was the Royal Rumble matchup where Dragunov eliminated Cena to win the whole thing. Meanwhile, Ludwig Kaiser not looking to allow a rally from John Cena in this contest. The fight getting taken to the outside, and Kaiser doing his damnedest to make sure John Cena comes up short of the finish line tonight. Sent back inside the ring. Kaiser going to be patient. Kaiser going to pick his spot. Saw Kaiser nearly win the United States Championship a few months ago here on SmackDown. Regardless of his status is in Imperium, Ludwig, an incredible athlete on his own, but miscalculates that forearm off the middle buckle, and it lays him right into the waiting arms of Cena. Going vintage this time. A little 5-knuckle shuffle. And it may be enough to keep down Imperium's Kaiser. Not just yet. A misstep by Ludwig nearly throughout this contest. John Cena hoping to keep his momentum alive just over a week away from the Elimination Chamber. Kaiser sent into the corner. John tried to perch him on the top a few moments ago. It did not work out. Once again, it looks like whatever Cena's got in mind from the ropes, from the corner we shall say, not going to pay him dividends. Kaiser's got whatever it is scouted. John Cena with so many tricks up his sleeve, the reason he has held 16 world championships throughout his legendary career. He's going to bring that same mantra, that same never give up attitude to Toronto a week from Sunday. Ludwig Kaiser right now just trying to soften up John. John Cena may be worse for wear. This is not these two's first go-around. Kaiser has read this playbook. Soccer kick right to the heart of Cena. John may be in trouble. Ludwig on the verge of the biggest upset of his career. And it's not over yet, but it nearly was. John Cena kicking out at the last-ditch second. You gotta give credit where it's due. Ludwig Kaiser able to get John Cena's back against the wall tonight. But can Kaiser get his hand raised? Off the top, coming crashing down on John. Very uncharacteristic of Imperium's Ludwig Kaiser, but anything in desperation for victory. Kaiser knows he's got John Cena hurt. He's got him down on the canvas. At least he did for a moment. He's got to try to do his damnedest to keep John Cena a weakened warrior. John throwing a couple haymakers to get back into this matchup, and a little springboard by Big Match John. Ludwig Kaiser all of a sudden looks like he's got his eggs scrambled as he's leaning up against the ropes, trying to find which way's right and which way's left. And now John starting to rev up the engines. Kaiser cutting him off. Gotta give the devil his due. Ludwig is looking sharp here at Edmonton. No doubt one of the best performances we have seen from Kaiser. Wait a minute. Cena, just when you least expect it, rises with an attitude adjustment. Into the cover goes John. This one's over. Cena with a victory en route to Toronto. Ludwig Kaiser giving them hell. An impressive showing by the Imperium representative. But in tonight's SmackDown main event, just as it was last week, John Cena finds a way to rise and finds his way to keep his momentum alive on the road to a possible 17th World Championship.
Here is your winner,
fighting through the ambush by Gunther and the onslaught by Kaiser. And now, see, wait a minute, Drew McIntyre in the ring. The world champion from behind, attacking the man who pinned his shoulders to the mat last Thursday night. And a claymore by Drew. McIntyre, the last person satisfied with last week's result, and certainly cannot be happy about the managerial decision for a triple threat in Toronto. Claymore to Cena, looking less like a victor and more like a... Wait a minute! Now Gunther in the ring, coming from behind on Drew. All three men who will battle for the World Heavyweight Championship in Elimination Chamber, trying to get an edge, trying to get a last laugh. McIntyre in familiar stomping grounds as Gunther delivers a powerbomb to the Scottish Warrior. McIntyre's got to be getting flashbacks from Survivor Series 2023 to WrestleMania last year, a second powerbomb. Well, the world champion trying to be defiant, standing up, but he may be out on his feet. Gunther gonna meet him at ringside, going for the hat trick in the home of the Oilers. Another powerbomb on the floor. Are we looking at the next World Heavyweight Champion, the Ring General, Gunther, standing tall at the end of a monumental SmackDown main event? All roads lead to the Elimination Chamber 1 week from Sunday. Who will head into WrestleMania as the World Heavyweight Champion?